Welcome. I'm Clark Pena and the host of the Advocates Corner. Today we're going to be discussing some issues that our law enforcement folks are going through on a daily basis. We're also going to be having a great chat with a president of a fraternal organization that's doing great work in the city of New York. We're honored. We've been chasing him for a long time to get him here. We're honored to have with us the president of the Global Alliance of Hispanic Law Enforcement Professionals, Sergeant Johnny Nunez. Sarge.
Thank you so much.
I got you. Finally got you.
Yes. Thank you.
How's it going, sir?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here. I mean, I follow your trajectory with the Advocates Corner and a fantastic program. And, you know, to be here at the Advocates Corner, I feel very honored to be here.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to have you here. You do such great work. Before we begin to talk about a lot of issues that are affecting law enforcement officers in their city, and a lot of chatter I'm getting about this event, this dinner dance that you guys are having. Let us be clear that you are a sergeant with the New York City Police Department.
Thank you. Yes, this is a nonprofit. GAHLEP is a nonprofit organization, a private entity. And I am here, of course, as the president of GAHLEP, not representing in any way, shape, or form the Police Department of New York.
I appreciate that. Sarge, how long have you been on the job as a member of the New York City Police Department?
December 8th, I'll have 22 years on the job.
22 years?
Yes.
And you can leave at 20, is it?
I was going to leave, but you know, maybe I'll hang out maybe 25, 3.5 more years.
They need you. They need you. People are kind of like retiring after the 20, and they just go, and we don't hear from them again. But you're putting in a lot of work.
Yes, and one of the things, even, you know, and I'm sure we'll touch with what's going on with the suicide. You know, one of the things that we speak about is beyond the job. There's more to this job, and I think it's important for members to have a vision, have a goal. You know, once you retire, it doesn't mean that your career ends. It doesn't mean that, you know, there's other outlets out there, other stuff that we can do. Part of the reason that I'm staying a little more is because of what's happening with the organization. We're doing a lot of work.
Absolutely.
So I envision myself being involved in some way, shape, or form, you know, beyond the career as a sergeant in the police department.
As a sergeant on the job. How did it begin? You took the test?
Yeah, sure.
Like everyone else?
As you know, we follow civil service. You know, after 5 years as a police officer, you are allowed to, if given that you pass a test, then you could become a sergeant. And then you follow the rank structure. The next step will be lieutenant, captain, and after that, it was all discretionary.
You were a police officer. Where did you work?
I originally was assigned to transit. I'm originally a transit officer in District 3, which is 145th St. Nicholas, pretty much covering this area.
You took me. You took me there.
Yes. We met with Mary King, who's the commanding officer there. And then in 2002, post 9/11, I applied to the police academy. At the same time, I was going to school for education, and I'm actually a math teacher by trade, certified by the state. But the department, I went to the academy, and I'm fascinated with law, so I was a law instructor for many years, until my promotion in 2005 to sergeant. Then I went to the 4-2 precinct, and since then I came back in the end of 2006, back to the academy, and I was part of the executive development section, which trains, is in-service training for captains and above for the executive corps of the department. And in that capacity, I saw a lot of great speakers, a lot of material, which is kind of what gave me personally professional growth and personal development. And I utilize a lot of that knowledge and when I go out into the communities, you know, through the organization. And hopefully we'll get to that as far as what we do, what the organization is about, which is serving as that bridge, you know, getting the community closer to the police.
Well, let's jump right into it. The organization was founded by you. What year?
October 12th, 2012.
2012. You've done so much.
Yeah, so this is our 7th year, and yes, we've done a lot.
You've done a lot.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what has been going on. I've been following some of the stuff. You guys traveled to Baltimore, Dominican Republic. You guys been all over.
Well, one of the things of the organization, we are not a recognized fraternal organization for the police department. As you know, the department has a lot of groups. I belong to many of them.
Right.
Hispanic Society. I actually was the president of the Dominican Officer Association back in 2009, 2010.
Duly noted. That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yes, I was the vice president. Then in 2012, and part of I always believe that organizations need to evolve, their missions need to evolve At that time, when the Dominican office was first created, there was a need to defend the image of Dominicans. As you know, in the 80s, you know, the Dominican York, you call it. There was a lot of association with the drugs and stuff, and there was a need to defend, to tell the community, the world, that, you know, not all Dominicans come here to sell drugs. We have teachers, we have police officers, we have ball players, attorneys. Eventually, I think that now the Dominican community is pretty much established. I mean, we have a congressman, first Dominican congressman. I think that there's a need. There's more to do, connecting with the community, and that's my strong point. I love going out to the community. So, in 2012, I decided to form this organization to have a bit more flexibility, since we don't belong to the police department per se, but serving, complementing the work that the police department is doing, just reaching out to the community, volunteering, bringing information, bringing knowledge, gang awareness, you name it. You know.
And so the domestic violence course that you offered is unbelievable.
Yes, we actually traveled to the Dominican Republic, and again, we're global, we're international. As a matter of fact, yes, last year we traveled to the Dominican Republic, and I did a domestic violence conference, packed in Santiago, one of the Matun Hotel there. And I love doing that.
On your own time, Sarge.
That is correct. That is correct.
That's to be really highlighted, on your own time, because a lot of people just don't like to do things on their own time. They put their stuff in their locker and they just go home.
Well, that's what volunteering is. You know,
right.
You have to have a passion for helping people. You have to have a passion, and it feels good. And it's good to feel that you're helping someone, that you're informing. And to me, that has no price. It's invaluable. After
22 years, what keeps that flame going, to give, to share, to build that bridge?
Well, I actually teach a course, Blue Courage, and part of that is, you know, just being kind to people in and of itself serves to happiness. You know, I'm a proponent. Happiness, I think, is a choice that we all can make. It's not conditional on outside factors. And just being happy and positive and focusing on what's good in people, not what's bad in people, helps you learn how to be happy. I think happiness is something that can be learned. You know,
right.
It's a mindset to have, which plays a part into what I was saying with the issues that the department is having now with all the suicides. You know, there's 4 dimensions, human dimensions, that make you whole as a human being, which is, you know, the physical part, but you also have the emotional, the social, and the spiritual, and the idea is you want to be well-rounded. You want to be sort of like at the core, and all those areas are important to be able to cope with different situations that you may face throughout your life. And that's what I think the community needs to. That's what I think the department. That's what we need to do to talk to cops.
Right.
That to share. You know, they're humans. You know.
The recent numbers is 10, correct?
That is correct.
That have taken their own lives.
Yes.
2 were retired members of service, is that correct?
As a matter of fact, the last one, yes.
He was retired, yeah.
4 years retired. And it's sad, 49 years old. And we will never comprehend why, but I think we need to do something. We need to share. We need to bring that message home that there's help. There's plenty of help within the department, outside of the department.
Are we, in your opinion, on the epidemic stage as far as law enforcement suicides?
Well, one of my members, the vice president, uses a term, Luis Salvador, who's the vice president, highly qualified detective.
First grader.
First grader, yes. And he speaks about the domino effect, and to an extent, it's similar to when something bad happens, a shooting. You tend to have copycats, or at least, you know, when it comes to suicide, we tend to see that. What we call the domino effect, right. You know, and I guess that's part of the equation, of the explanation of what triggers people, but that's why we can't give up. We have to go out there more so now than to bring home that message. There is help.
And they're not alone. You're never alone. Let's give it a quick, while we have the opportunity, EAU, you're never alone. Call 646-610-6730. NYC Well, that's NYCWELL, is 1-888-692-9355.
And Papa.
And Papa as well.
Papa's a great organization.
So you're never alone. On that note, let's take this short commercial break.
Okay.
We're going to touch on that issue of law enforcement suicide. We'll be right back. very important break there, and that PSA says it all. You are not alone. Once again, EAU 646-610-6730, NYC Well 1-888-692-9355, and Sarge, you said Papa?
Papa.
Papa, they can also reach out to them as well. Horrible situation, but we move forward, and I think with all the professionals on board, they'll work it out.
Sure.
They'll work it out. Well, once again, we have Sergeant Johnny Nunez. He's the president of the Global Alliance Hispanic Law Enforcement Professionals, president and founder. And we hear and we see all the chatter. Tell us about this dinner. What's going on?
It's overwhelming. I'm surprised. I mean, what's going on with this gala that we have on October 5th. Last year we had a great gala, but this year it has surpassed our expectations.
Right.
Part of, I think, of the reason is a couple of things. Back in April, we traveled to Baltimore. We signed an MOU with a big organization that's doing great work, HAPCOA, which is the Hispanic Association of Police Commanders.
Policemen. And MOU, Sarge, is?
It's a memorandum of understanding.
Of understanding, okay.
And what highlighted that event, which was well put together, and my kudos to Anthony Chapa, who's the executive director. At that event, one of the honorees was the head of security for the vice president. And a day before the event, there was a call from the White House, and Vice President Pence showed up at the event. So that kind of highlighted that event, being in the audience, and we signed the MOU with HAPCOA. And I think that brought a lot of social media attention. And this year, as a matter of fact, we're honoring the executive director, Anthony Chapa.
Beautiful.
He is our Man of the Year. And as well as other big dignitaries, Paul Sell, who's the president of the International Association Chief of Police, and Victor Avila. Victor Avila. Yes, Victor, ICE retired special agent who went through the incident in Mexico in Highway 57.
I saw that.
That was a big event.
And Mr. Chapa was Secret Service,
Secret Service, going back to the Reagan years. He was Director of Security for the White House. So, and again, I mentioned Paul Sell, who's the IACP president. But what highlights and what makes my event, our event, a bit different is the international flavor. So it's the international award ceremony where I highlight Hispanics in law enforcement. At the local level, a lot of NYPD executives will be honored. At the national level, Suffolk County, Miguel Bermudez, the Triple Police Chief, is going to be there. We also have a Detective Sergeant, Tulio Serrata. But the international, every year we try to bring different countries. So this year we have representatives from Honduras, the Chief of Police for Panama. We have the Dominican Republic. And for the first time, we actually have an executive, which I did not know was Hispanic, John Reimer.
I saw that. I saw the flyer and I said, who's that gentleman?
That gentleman speaks better Spanish than
really?
me. And he is the first inspector of police for the Royal Virgin Islands Police in the small island of Tortola. Is it Tortola or Tortola?
Okay.
In the Virgin Islands. So, but again, what's been happening is amazing. We also have special awards, for entrepreneurship, appreciation awards, so forth. And our own organization's Man of the Year, which is Manuel de la Rosa, who's a retired chief, 38 years on the job.
Another gentleman that has retired and has maintained his activism roots. He's very active.
Yes, so I think that when people see the quality of individuals that are going to be at this event, that has helped a lot. And of course, social media. I also have a great team. I've restructured the board. A couple of sergeants that have joined, Daniel Mendez, Calvin Liz, Lieutenant Reyes, Luis Salvador, as I mentioned, Randall Hernandez. So I think that has helped spread the word within the police agency, not only in NYPD. So we're getting a lot of active law enforcement that perhaps we're not aware so much of what GAHLEP was.
Right.
And I think the word is out there, and the fact that we're very inclusive. Our theme for the year is building bridges.
Building bridges, yes.
It's all about building bridges, sharing. So being inclusive. Especially what we're going through now. I mean, this is not the time for a separation. This is the time for inclusion and coming together.
Who's that gentleman that I saw on the flyer? And as you're talking, the flyer is being put up so people could see it and they could share it. Gentleman by the name of Weiss.
I was just going to mention, when I say coming together, I also have a community liaison award, and I think that the gentleman that we actually chose this year, unbelievable, and he epitomizes what community relations is all about. So he's going to get the community liaison award, and that is Mitchell Weiss, and unbelievable. I mean, you introduced me to him, and what an amazing individual.
He's so loving and caring to everyone.
He's passionate. He cares, and he's involved in many organizations. Yes. So we're very honored to have Mitchell Weiss. Has really helped us a lot, not only as an honoree, but he has, on his own volition, actually reached out to some of his contacts, and through him we're getting some sponsorships, which is the big difference this year. We're getting a lot of sponsorships from different agencies within law enforcement, from private entities. Cival Meats, which is a great Dominican company, they're sponsoring us. And the big thing is the unions for the first time. I met at Mullins the other day. And,
Sergeant Mullins, he was on the program.
Oh, yes, I saw that program. Unbelievable, the work he's doing. And SBA, the unions, the PBA. So I think that's actually going to help even further send the message. And hopefully, thanks to the Advocates Corner also, we invite members. We also have associate members. If you're a civilian member, you can join our organization as a civilian member.
But Sarge, you do something that's so respected. The associate members are free to join, but
what we decided as a policy is that you always want, when you grow as an organization, especially when you open yourself up, inclusive, but you also have to kind of protect yourself. The idea is like we're a family, but we want good members of the family. Right. And so as an associate member, our policy dictates that you first have to go to the police agency of your jurisdiction, in this case New York City, the police department, and obtain what's called a certificate of conduct. It used to be called a good conduct letter. And I think that in and of itself serves as a filter, to make sure that at least we're getting people that are clean, that want to be in the organization. We don't want a situation where we'll let anybody in, and then, as you know, a scandal may occur. So we want to minimize those risks. So make sure we're bringing in good people, and we have great people within the organization, and that's what it's all about. People that care.
And they're passionate.
Yes.
They're passionate of what they do. Your vice president, Luis.
And as you mentioned before, we don't get paid. We do it, on a Saturday where, I'm off on Saturdays, and, I could be playing ball, which I love, but
right.
I'm always open. To go to a community center, spend 4 hours, 5 hours doing just a seminar.
Right.
On whatever it may be.
So the dinner's happening. I've heard rumors that you may be sold out soon. So if you're gonna,
it's unbelievable, Clark, what's happening. I'm very excited, very happy, and that actually is going to make us stronger.
Absolutely.
We'll be able to help more. That's what it's all about.
And in preparation for this segment with you, I also heard, I'm hearing a lot, you guys won the championship.
That is something. It's funny that we said building bridges,
right,
but also.
Am I right?
That is correct. But let me tell you, one of the.
I heard right.
We actually had like a second theme, which is GAHLEP. 2019 has been great for us. So we were kind of winning on the field and off the field. Off the field with the MOU, which I must mention, we also traveled to the ER. I have an MOU of understanding with the Dominican Republic National Police, and we'll be traveling to Panama soon and collaborate with them. So again, it's about sharing. So we decided this year, we were winning off the field. As you know, I'm an avid softball player.
Absolutely.
Played for many years for the 4A precinct, for the SBA. So we decided, why not put a team together this year? And so I called the guys that I used to play with in the 4A precinct. So the majority of the team is from the 4A precinct. We have from transit, we have from housing, but most of them are guys that played with me many years ago. And we said, let's see how we would do. And believe it or not, we actually won first place, beating the 3/4.
Congratulations.
So we are the 2019 Police Commissioner Sports League champions.
Congratulations, Sarge.
So, yes.
Good job. Good job.
So it's been great. 2019 has been great.
Well, Sarge, when you're having a great time, great conversation, time flies. In closing, that's your camera, and if you want to say anything to the members, to our city.
Well, before I forget, I'm so honored again to be here at the Advocates Corner. So speaking about the gala, tickets going fast, but I made sure that I grabbed 2. So this is going to be presented to you, to the Advocates Corner. So
thank you so
as
much.
you please, these are 2 tickets that you can offer to.
I got mine.
There you go. But as a
Thank you
symbol,
so much.
one of the things that we did, and we actually exchanged a coin with the Vice President. So
Yes.
I will
yes.
do the same thing with you. So this is our challenge coin, and I know you like challenge coins.
Absolutely.
And if you see in the back, it has the theme of building bridges, construyendo puentes. So this is our official badge
Very
with
nice.
our logo, and this will be presented to you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Carl. Well, let's do it the right
Let's
way.
do it the right way. Let's do it. To all, to GAHLEP, to the board, to everyone, thank you so much. And I will continue to be supportive in any way you see fit.
Well, thank you, sir.
For those that are, don't get jelly. You can get your own.
We'll have those at the event.
At the
as
event.
well.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you so much. And Sarge, in closing, let's continue to reach out to those folks that feel that they're alone in the department.
That is the message. They're not alone.
They're not
Reach out to
alone.
us. Oftentimes it's just listening.
Yes.
Listening to people. Ask. You got to be intrusive. Is everything okay?
Wow, wow. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. We got you here.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to be someplace on the 5th now. I got a place to go.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good. You enjoy.
Thank you, Sarge, for your time.
Thanks
I
a lot.
appreciate you. Thank you, GAHLEP. And thank you for joining us here today. Once again, for those law enforcement officers that are feeling that they're alone, they're not alone. EAU 646-610-6730. NYC Well 1-888-692-9355. Or PAPA.
Pop-up for the members of the police department.
For the members of the police department, you can follow Sergeant Nunez and his great organization on gallup.org. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I'm Clark Pena, your host, always reminding you, take care of yourself. More importantly, take care of each other. Hasta la próxima.
As cops, you do a great job every day of keeping people safe and helping those in need. As chief of department for the greatest police department in the world, I can speak for the entire executive team when I say your health and well-being is extremely important to all of us. We all want to make sure you take care of yourself. If you need help, it's available and you have options. No situation is hopeless. Many of your fellow officers have received help for stress, depression, relationships, and other situations. Trust me when I say, getting some help will not prevent you from having a successful career. Actually, getting help will lessen the burden you may be carrying. You are never alone. You put strangers first every day. Now it's time to prioritize your own health and well-being. And don't forget to check in with your fellow cops. You would never hesitate to respond to a cop calling for help over the radio. This is no different. You may save a life. Make sure to connect someone in need with the help that is available.